Speak up, speak out. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the show where you can show your love, no doubt about it. Where self-love and self-worth are the topics of the day. Right here on the Just Blah Show, where love is the only way. And here are your hosts, Barb and Faye.
This is Barb.
And this is Faye, and welcome to Just Blah, top memes of the week from Beautiful Mess with Barb. Hi. And Barb, what did you pick this week?
Well, it's the week of, I don't know what, the 12th through the 9th. Is today the 19th? June 19th.
Yeah.
So, and wow, what a week we've had. And we were just talking about how, wow, we kind of have a theme running here. So you'll see that as we go through. As you know, this is Beautiful Mess with Just Blah, which is our YouTube channel where we upload all our wonderful whatever the heck we record to share with you.
Yeah.
So you'll find a gamut of different things in there. So the first one I picked was this beautiful quote. It was posted on June 14th at 6 a.m. And it got 82 comments. And it wasn't so much that, like it may not have been the highest comment. It was more about the length of comments. I mean, it was very hearty. It wasn't like, hey, I like this. It was like a lot of paragraphs in there with people with really strong opinions about this. So I thought I would share it. This particular post is from a book, obviously, The Greatest Version of Yourself, and it's highlighted. And it's really just talking about self-discipline is really a form of consistency.
Yes.
And I don't know how to say it any simpler because they go hand in hand. In order to be self-disciplined, you have to be consistent, whether that's a mind practice, a body like working out, or
athletics, professionally,
spiritual, anybody that you know that you consider an expert or successful in whatever it is because they're disciplined in whatever they're focusing on. So let's break that down really quickly. That also means if we're just reacting and we're disciplined in reacting in anger, that's your discipline, whether you own it or not. So that's why you say be conscious about what you're focusing on. So if you're quick to react either by shutting down, getting angry, or whatever it might be, that's also a discipline that you've created within your brain synapses to respond, right? And to change that, we have to bring it to conscious, to choose that consistency until it becomes a response instead of a reaction.
Yeah. And I think what this is really saying here is like, if you have a goal and you want to be successful, the ingredient that gets you there is action. And what is action? Is being self-disciplined, right? Knowing, being focused,
right,
and going for it. And that means it's okay to make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect along the way. This is very, just think of, I think sports is always a really good analogy for this type of stuff, or even like I because I'm military, like basic training camp, right? You fall down, you get up, you keep going, right? You fall down, you get up, you keep going, and there's no excuses. You just keep going, and doesn't mean that you don't feel your feelings and you don't have, but you don't stop. You keep going.
Well, it's not just military. It's also
just in life. Yeah.
I mean, think about people who are considered, like meditation, type people.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to keep practicing. I remember when I first started meditating, I mean, I would do like 30 seconds and be distracted and then have to come back. And then I had to keep doing it. Now it's so like my brain, I can just kind of bring myself in if I need to ground. But it took like 2 years of really just being consistent with my practice and just getting used to how it feels in my body so I can recognize it. So my brain knows how to react to that or respond to that stimulus in my body, so I can bring that calmness in instead of fear in, if that makes sense. So we get to probably talk an hour about this. So we're going to go on because we try to keep this under 10 minutes. Oh, yesterday, this one. Oh my goodness. So I appreciate, let me just put this out there. I appreciate everybody's input on this. And I understand not everybody read what I wrote above this about what this how I perceived it and
Yeah.
why I posted it. And remember, all the posts that we're doing here, honestly, they're for me to read, to remind myself to, because I believe like that consistency of getting that message is going to help fortify that message for myself. So
Yeah.
this one was about taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, and that you have to own your own life and that kind of things. And I understand some people took that to mean that it was selfish and narcissistic tendencies. I don't like the word narcissistic because that is actually a diagnosis for people that actually have that,
Yeah.
mental challenge. We can have narcissistic tendencies and not be narcissistic. Actually, all humans do at some
Yeah.
point. So I want to make that clear that I'm not saying anybody's narcissistic in this. The
Yeah.
reason I posted this was because for you and I, we are
Yeah.
recovering people pleasers.
Yes.
So this concept for us was very difficult. So this is very powerful for me. And I'm like, I'm sure for you, because I know you well enough, that it's like to remind myself in order to be of service to other people, to whoever I want to serve outside my children. Obviously, your children are they're your go-to. This doesn't apply to that. That I have to take care of myself first so I can
Yeah.
be there for them. Otherwise, they get that energetic feeling from me. Like you've done stuff. I remember vividly something where I've done stuff for people, but the energy when which I showed up in it was probably not very kind.
Yeah. Well, in a way of people pleaser, and we've learned this, is really a form of control, right? You're trying
Right.
to control the person or the situation.
To feel safe, to feel
Yeah,
connected.
because if you have control, then you can control the outcome, I think is kind of the mentality. But then you wrap it in what you call kindness, and really that's another conversation that we can get into. What
Yeah.
but so I can see where this could be really triggering. But bottom line is if you can take care of yourself and you're meeting all your needs and you're loving yourself unconditionally, then you're able to share that with the world. If you're only loving yourself with what we call conditions, then that's reflected outward. So really, this is about just learning to love yourself so it could then be shared with the world outwardly, right? I mean,
Right.
that's kind of
You have to
really
hold
what
the
we
space
decided
for
to.
yourself so you can give
Yeah.
it to others.
Yeah.
So I really want to challenge people for who did felt like on the side, if it sparked on any side,
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. But to really go back and read that and go, what about this made me feel, whatever it is you were feeling,
Yeah.
because that means there's some
And
type of
sit with it.
and sit with it and see what the belief is. It doesn't mean you have to
Yeah.
own it, but it's
Nope.
and remember, all these memes are here to help spark to look at ourselves and to
Yeah.
self-reflect and to grow. I mean, I was very bristled sometimes when I remember when I first started this practice
Mhm.
of reading these type of memes, that I'd be like, huh. And sometimes I just put it down and go, no, no,
That's
it's not
not
for
that's
me.
not for me.
It's not for me, and that's okay.
Yeah. And
That
it
message
always
is
seems
in,
to
it's not
pop
for
back up.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want everybody to know that this is not a space to judge other people for, having one spectrum to the other. It's about self-reflection and about how we, why am I, to start going, why do I believe that? Why am I having such a mechanism to want to defend or protect whatever it is that it is? And there's nothing wrong with that, honestly.
Yeah.
But it gives you pause, right? We had a great meme about pause. And give yourself space, pause to kind of look at it. And if you don't
Yeah.
want to, you don't have to. But it's just
Yeah.
something that I practice that I know has been very helpful for me.
Yeah, and it's a good reflection for people who are like, yeah, I totally agree with it. You
Right.
still should practice the pause and go, why do I
Right.
agree with this?
Why do I agree with
Because
it?
of this, and
Yeah.
just kind of reaffirm your beliefs, because really it's just a belief, right? It's a
Right.
belief and a practice that you do. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't fit into what you feel comfortable with, it's okay. You don't have to agree with it.
No, you
And
don't.
again, you shouldn't. The thing I want to discourage is being judgy, right?
Right.
This is not about being judgy and making everybody else wrong because with something that you don't agree with. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just a truth out there, and there's a lot of different truths, and people
Yeah. And I do
have
want to
different comfort
mention,
levels with it.
yeah, I want to mention right here. So we talk a lot about please use your I statements instead of your you statements.
Yes.
Please do not be passive aggressive in your I statements. And this is what it sounds like. Well, I think you're full of, blarkey.
Yeah.
That is passive aggressive. That is not owning what you believe to be true.
Yeah.
It is actually attacking somebody in the guise of being in the I state. That is passive aggressive.
Yes.
I do delete them. I won't delete you off the page for that type of thing, but if I see you continually do that, I will definitely do that, because that means you're passive aggressive and you're not looking to communicate. You're looking to create chaos, emotional chaos, and we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So just letting y'all know.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh, this one. I love this one. And I have shared this in the past. And this really is about, Faye and I were talking about this right before we got on here.
Yeah.
And it's, we talk, we're, I can say in the United States, I can't say for other parts of the world. We're so focused on the physical of what people look like and how, gosh, it impacts us so much. And I was just telling Faye a personal story about this. But the reflection in the mirror does not show or reflect back to you the impact you are in the world, your energy, your kindness, your, how you touch people, or, it's all the things that makes you and your brilliance, right? It doesn't reflect your energy back in the sense of knowing how you touched other people, and you're so much more than just the reflection. And I know everybody knows this. We hear it all the time. And maybe that's why we're so dismissive of it, because it's like, yeah. And then unfortunately we have social media and, and TV and movies that kind of give you a different message. I think for me, this is one of the hardest things to overcome still at my age, knowing who I am, and still, I think this is my Achilles heel, this right here, this little thing, because I am afraid to be judged for the way I look. I think I said that when we first started doing this, and it's like, I don't want people to.
I think that's why we hesitated so much to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to miss the brilliance because of the way I look.
I think, one way to look at this is like, what if I could see what I said, say, to Barb, and how that affected her? If I'm able to, like a reflecting glass that actually reflects back what not only was said, but what the outcome of my words or my actions were. How different would life be now if you had that privilege, right? To see that and see how that kind word to that stranger could have changed something. And I've seen a lot of videos where they kind of are trying to emulate that, right? To show how important it is of what you say and what you do and who you are, how it does have a ripple effect, even though you're not able to see it, how much you impact the world, not just your world, but the world around you. So everybody's important, and how you interact with everyone is important. And so I think that's kind of where this is going, right?
Right. And to pay attention to when people do share that with you, because I can think of, honestly, Faye, three times this week where somebody said, I'm so excited you are here because I love, being with you. And I'm not saying, and I just dismissed it. I was like, yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was, but really sitting back, because we're so dismissive of when people do give that gift of sight to us, and we just dismiss it. And so people
but what that does is that trains people. I think this is where you're going. It trains people to train people on how you want to be treated.
Right.
So if you're dismissive of somebody, instead of thank you, that those are such kind words, and whatever else you want to say, then they're like, wow, it's a good feedback for them. Trust me, they're going to keep giving you that feedback. And if you go, oh yeah, it's no big deal, well, they're going to stop giving it to you because you're so dismissive. They're trying to give you a gift. I think Barb taught me this, and I'm so big on it now. It took me a long time to get it, but when I got it, I'm like, oh, this isn't about me.
Right, exactly.
This isn't about me.
You're talking about the gift of receiving, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, because that's a biggie, Faye. Because especially people who are survivors, and not to get totally off topic, it's very hard, because we're all very much, we're either very huge victims where we want somebody to do everything for us, or on the opposite spectrum where you and I fell, whereas I can do everything for myself and
I don't need any help. And I think a lot of people fall in that category.
Yeah. And it's, we definitely need need to have a live conversation around that. So look for
Yeah.
that. We'll do
Yeah.
that in the next couple of weeks. So we'll get to
Yeah.
the last one here.
All
So
right.
this is a
I know this is
bonus
going long.
one.
Sorry. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead,
it's
Barb.
okay. So this is really the reason I shared this was it was actually shared a week ago, but
Yeah.
it got over 1,000 comments, over 55 shares, and I don't know,
55,000 shares.
yeah, 55,000 shares and 42,000
Likes, emojis,
heart
yeah.
emoji. And this is really about, man, the process of healing.
Yeah,
And that's
it
all I'm
is.
going to say. It's very long, but it is so impactful. And it's a biggie. There were a few people in here that kind of missed, at least I felt like they misunderstood what the message was, but the majority of people got the message. It's about
Yeah.
we can love other people, but we can't fix them.
Yeah,
And
it's about being, I mean, it's kind of going deep. It's about being the observer of your life and
Right.
responding to your environment and the people you're versus reacting. And that's really what this is is getting down to. And really
Yeah.
trying to find, live a happy, like it says, a happy and healthy life. You really need, at least from this perspective of living, to be an observer and take in the information and process it, practice the pause, and then respond, right?
Right.
Just not automatically shooting from the hip kind of a thing, and
Yeah.
reacting to whatever comes down the pike, because then you really don't know what's going to happen, because you don't know how that other person or what's going to happen within that environment.
Right. And it's really giving grace to yourself and the
Yeah.
other person. And I always go in with the thought that they're doing the best they can in that moment. So I try really hard to
Yeah.
hold that space. I don't like to have a quick judgment about people. I'm not saying that I don't do that in my brain, but I kind of go, oh, okay, and just dismiss it and don't verbalize it
Yeah.
and see where the connection goes. And then sometimes I'm like, yep, okay, nope, I'm still holding on to that. And sometimes it's like, wow, I'm glad I kind of said, okay, I'm just let's see where this flows and what comes of it, right?
Yeah.
It's usually just about, somebody goes, if we practice this, then we would have a lot less misunderstandings and a lot more people feeling loved and valued and it's
heard.
and heard.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. My goodness. I mean, unconditional love is simple, but it isn't. It's simple in form, but hard in practice.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay,
we're good.
well,
That was a long
yeah.
discussion. So we're going to
we'll
stop
wrap it up there.
We're going to wrap it up. Faye, any words of wisdom?
No, I think that's good. And we're looking forward to the next one. And let us know in the comments what you think. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and go find your joy.
Go find your joy. Bye.
Bye.